As a primary school child, we had school assemblies and it was hands together and eyes closed, and it never did very much for me. It was washing over, didn't feel a particular connection. Once I grew up a bit, then that had even less, I moved away from religion and that had even less meaning for me. And for many years I had a problem with the word pray. It didn't mean anything to me, I didn't understand it. I have quite a universalist sort of approach to religion, rather than focusing on a particular day. You know, the old man in the beards with the clouds doesn't mean much to me. So I always kind of had this thing of, well, what is prayer? Where do I relate to it? And it didn't mean much to me. And then I had an interesting situation. I had a problem to deal with, or a big decision in my life to make. And as a Quaker, one thing we would just do is to ask for a meeting for clearness with a few individuals from our meeting who know us. And I just came to the decision that that was what would be right to help me with this decision. When I realised there wasn't time for it, I had to make this decision very rapidly. So I came home from work that day and I sat down in my living room by myself and I calmed my breathing and I did the sort of things I do in meeting for worship and kind of put this question out, you know, what's the right decision to make? I guess I kind of was thinking about putting it out to someone, but that doesn't make sense because I don't believe in someone, but I guess I was seeking help from somewhere, wherever that came from. And during that hour, interestingly it turned out to be an hour, I sat down not knowing how long it would be, but it fitted in with the standard meeting for worship sort of length. I came to a conclusion as to what felt right, and I didn't know why. And very often when I make decisions, I'll pendulum and go one way and then reevaluate and go the other. But after that one, I never did. And so at first I hadn't told anyone because I expected to change my mind, but I didn't. And I acted on that. And life didn't turn out as I guess I'd hoped. It certainly wasn't a smooth path. But even now, several years later, I've never felt that was the wrong decision. So, and now so I was thinking, well, what did I do then? And I guess that calming, centering, some people would say opening your heart, you know, looking for guidance, that I came to the conclusion that was probably what people meant by prayer. And thinking of it in those terms, I'm now comfortable with the word prayer. I don't do it very often. I haven't had huge decisions to make since, but it's certainly something I will go back to in that way. What I do find on a more day-to-day sort of basis, at certain moments, quite often it seems to happen when I'm driving around, which I do quite a lot with work, I will find myself noticing things around me that I think are great. And I'll just kind of detach part of my brain a little bit, take a step back, so I'm not focusing on the road and driving hard, just slow down a little bit, and I will be noticing these things and thinking that's good, and thinking about people I know who are going through difficult times and hoping that they will find the strength to face what challenges are sent to them. And I think in many ways that is a form of prayer. I don't think prayer is the same for everybody, but that's what I think it is for me.